Sustainable agriculture has far-reaching benefits for the planet and beyond. Tate & Lyle is focused on responsibly meeting the increased demands for future food production, whilst improving the social and economic well-being of the farmers and local communities that make up its supply chain.
As a world leader in ingredient solutions for healthier and tastier food and drink, Tate & Lyle has built authentic partnerships with farming communities, particularly in China, where cultivating sustainable methods of growing stevia has proved hugely successful.
When we think about feeding a growing population, that isn't going to happen with our current food system. We really need to think about novel solutions. We need to think about healthier products that we're able to provide, and stevia is one of them. So we have a low to no calorie sweetener that replaces sugar, that still gives consumers the taste and delight that they would get from a sweet or a beverage.
The question of why stevia is because it's a really good natural option. And we know that consumers are looking for more natural, clean label ingredients in the products that they choose when they're in store.
Getting a more sustainable stevia product means involving the farmers in scientific research and bringing in people they trust to work with them.
Stephen, can you give us examples?
Earthwatch Europe works in partnership with Tate & Lyle and Nanjing Agricultural University to ensure the right growing practices are embedded as the stevia market grows.
So we've been working for the last 5 years with farmers in China, trying to, first of all, get a baseline. What is the environmental sustainability, environmental impacts of stevia farming? And then working from that, trying to identify what are the areas that can be improved. And so we're working with some really great scientists from the Nanjing Agricultural University in Nanjing in China, and who have been working with stevia forever. So they're like world experts. And we kind of introduced different concepts, including citizen science, including life cycle assessment, including lots of things that we do at Earthwatch all the time. And the idea is first to trace a baseline and then to try to get the farmers involved, to let them in on the process, kind of a co-design, and what we can do to improve.
Tate & Lyle and its partners found that the biggest impacts of stevia farming related to the type of fertilizer used and how long it stayed within the ground.
We started experimenting with slow release fertilizer. And of course, this was kind of a big change to farmers in the area who are used to using manure and standard conventional fertilizers. But they took it on. They took it on after we demonstrated to them in an experimental farm that they could have the same production using much less fertilizer and applying it in a much more sustainable way.
What we found is that actually, if you reduce fertilizer use by about 75%, you actually can have an improved impact on that crop. Previously, the mindset was almost the more fertilizer I use, the more I can get. And so that, as you can imagine, that's been quite a process in terms of education with the farmers, as well as building that trust so that they really then see the result, and they're much more willing then, obviously, to implement and improve further on what they're doing with the guidance that we can provide with the local university.
In recent surveys, farmers say the program is now an essential part of how they grow stevia and the way they manage the impacts of climate change.
They look to the program to help them build a more climate resilient crop because they've experienced flooding the last 2 years. The crops that were part of the program fared better in terms of yield and sustaining the floods than those that didn't. So it's become an economic driver as well.
The program's impressive results are helping Tate & Lyle and its customers to reduce their Scope 3 emissions and bring to life the company's 3 purpose pillars of supporting healthy living, building thriving communities, and caring for the planet.
When I think about the stevia products themselves, they are answering consumers' desire to have healthier products that frankly still taste good, that we want to eat and we want to drink and enjoy. It also connects back to the livelihoods of the growers that are involved in the program. It's building a more climate resilient crop. So when we're seeing the impacts of climate change, they have a crop. They have money for their families. They have a livelihood. So we really are talking about uplifting those local farmers and then larger impacts on the community.
This project, which primarily benefits small family or female-owned farms, also exemplifies Tate & Lyle's purpose.
So we see improvements in watershed quality indicators, we see improvements in erosion. Those metrics matter to a small farming community. So when we're talking about small shareholder farmers, there's also a sense of pride in, I'm contributing to making my community a better place to live.